करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जन्माद्यस्य तोन्मयादितरतः चार्थेषु भिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, 13th chapter, beginning from verse number 22. This is a description of appearance of Lord Varahadev, and it is described by Sri Maitreya. And we studied that how when Brahma had created Manu and Satrupa, and they asked to Brahma that please allocate us the place where we can perform our service. Then he realized that the earth was submerged in the water of deluge, and Brahma did not know how to get the earth out of the water. So he was contemplating the process or the means how the earth could be brought out, and he could not think of anything. Then finally he prayed to the Lord, and at that time a small boar came out from his nostril, and then suddenly it became big, like the size of an elephant. And they were all looking at him, Brahma and his sons, headed by Marichi, and wondering what exactly is this. Such a small thing came out and then grew so big. So while they were contemplating, then Brahma is thinking and speaking. He says, Drishto angushta shiro matraha chanad ganda shilasamah apisvid bhagwan esha yajnyo me khedayan. So previously different opinions were given, but now Brahma, he could understand that this is the Supreme Lord. Says that first I saw him like the size of the head of the thumb, angushta siro matra, and in a moment it became gandasilasana, a bigger piece of stone used for making chutney, grinding some masalas. When there was no electricity and there were no grinders, then how we were grinding, right? So in the day of mixing you will not understand the example because nobody is doing that. So then it became bigger and then bigger and bigger. So he says, Apis with Bhagwan Eshe, Yajyo me Khediyan Mane. That this indeed, there is one chair in the next one. See. That this indeed is the Lord. I can understand. But he says that he is giving distress to my heart. So why was he giving distress to Brahma's heart? Because he appeared in the form which is not liked by people. At least in India, pig is not considered as something very pleasurable. Dogs and hogs, these two are object of contempt in India. They have to be kept away from the sight. And they are dirty animals. Whatever they pass can be dangerous for health. Because ultimately it is for the health purposes. Because every animal eats and then it has to release something. So cow eats and it gives cow dung, but that is not harmful. It cannot give disease to human beings. In fact, it is very beneficial. It is healthy. So in the houses, in the villages, we smear the ground with cow dung mixed in water, and that is considered as pure. So therefore cow is kept in the house and worshipped. But dog passes stool, it can be dangerous for health. And pig, you can get a swine flu. So in future you can also get dog flu. There are too many dogs. But there is no cow flu.
Just mad cow. Mad cow.
They're mad cow because they fed meat to the cows. That's not cow's mistake. So, because these hogs are not considered as pure, therefore Brahma is saying that Bhagavan Yajya Purusho Apisid Bhagavan Esha Yajyo me Khediyan Mane. That this is actually Bhagavan, but why is he in this form? So he doesn't seem to be happy about that. Because there are various forms of the Lord, and of course we have the Syam Sundara form, which is so pleasing, beautiful form of Krishna. He is so beautiful that even he is enchanted by his own beauty. In Bhagavatam it is described that Bhushana Bhushanangam, that Krishna is so beautiful that when you put ornaments on his body, the ornaments become beautified. Usually we wear ornaments to become beautiful. Krishna wears ornaments to make ornaments beautiful. So he is compassionate on the ornaments because he does benefit to everyone. Now if you have a hog form, what ornament can you give him? You cannot even put a garland. Because he is going to walk like this, it will slip out. You cannot dress him. You have to make a dress and then you have to put in. It will be very problematic. So, right? So therefore Brahma is seeing all this,
Beautified pig.
that what can be done. So he says, Khediyan Mana me, that this form is giving little bit sadness to me. He's not happy with the form, not that he is not happy with the Lord. So of course different, yes, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gave a different explain. It says Yajna Prathama Manvantar Avatara. So first Manu, when there was first Manu, then Lord Yajna was born as the Manvantar Avatar, because he is not the Manvantar Avatar. So he says that he is the same Yajna Purusha. And Khedayan Adrishta Rupa Avir Bhavena Sansair Manakshobhen. So why Brahma is feeling some disturbance in the mind? It says because Lord has appeared in a form which was not seen before. He has not seen this form. So he has seen human form. He has seen Vishnu form, because he saw Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, who is his father. He has also seen Yajna Purusha. He is also human form, but this type. So that's why his mind was not peaceful. So when he was thinking like this, iti mīmānsatastasya brahmana saha sunubhi Bhagavan Yajna Purusho Jagarja again Jagarjagendra Sannidha Jagarja Jagendra Sannidha Jagarja Agendra Sannidha. Okay, Agendra Sannidha. So when they were contemplating like this, Brahma was contemplating and his sons were there along with him. And the Kumaras and the 9 sages and Rishi, Narada Rishi, 10th one. Manu was also standing there along with Shatrupa. There was only one lady in the whole scene. So they were all looking at Lord Varahadev and contemplating Brahma along with Brahma. Then at that time Lord made a great sound from his, what is called, snout. So from the snout he made a very big sound. I don't know what is the sound of a hog called. Snorted?
Snort. Yeah.
Okay, so he snorted from his snout.
Very loud.
And Agendra Sannibha. And he was big, like a big mountain. Aga means mountain and Indra means the king of the mountain. So he made a very big sound, just like sometimes there are clouds and there is the rumbling of the clouds and it goes and hits a big mountain and there is a reverberation of that. Especially if you are in a valley and you make a sound. So like that he made a big sound. Therefore he says Agendra. And he was in big size. By now he was not an elephant size anymore. Now he became the size of a mountain. And big mountain, king of the mountain, I don't know, Himalayas or Alps maybe. Himalayas? Not Alps?
No, the Himalaya, the 8,000, 7,000.
Okay, so he says that like a big mountain, king of the mountain. Whichever is the king, he does not mention. So everybody can take their own meaning and feel happy. If you are in Europe, you can say Alps. If you are in India, you can say Himalaya. If you are somewhere else, if you give specific name, then it becomes problem. If you are in Russia, then what mountains you have there?
Ural.
Ural? Ural?
Sorry, another mountain. Just close to Tajikistan.
So there are
Anyway, I don't remember.
Tajik
I remember
mountain,
in
Tajik mountains. So Brahmanam Harshayamasa Harinstanscha Dujottaman Swagarjitayane Kakubha Pratisvanayata Vibhu. And when he made this sound, then Brahma was very happy. Brahmanam Harshayamasa. Brahma was glad that at least he could understand now that this is really Lord. Means he said, yes Brahma, what you are thinking is right. Because Brahma was thinking this is Bhagwan, this is Yajna Purusha. So he responded. This is called silent dialogue. There is a dialogue when you speak verbally, and then you can also have dialogue without using words. So Brahma, he was saying something in the mind, and Lord understood, so he said yes. He did not say anything by speech, he just made a sound. So therefore Brahma is happy now that at least his problem is solved, because he was thinking how to bring the earth out. So now he knows that Lord is going to bring him out from there. So Haristanscha Dujottaman, and all these Brahmanas who were standing there, they were all happy. Dvijas, because Dvija, Kshatriya is also Dvija. Because among the sons of Brahma, one was Kshatriya, Manu. He is not a Brahmana, he is a Kshatriya, but he is also Dvija. So he says, Dvijan, Dvijottaman, Swagarjitayana Kakubha, Pratisvayanata Vibhu. And by his roaring, all the directions were filled with sound. If you want to fill this room with something, you will need a lot of material, but if you want to fill this room with sound, you just one makes sound and it goes in every corner. So you may think that this room is empty, but it is filled with sound. So he filled the world with his roaring, Pratisvanayata Vibhu. Because he is a Veda Purusha, he is a Yajna Purusha, he is personification of the Vedas, and he sent the Vedic knowledge all around, in all directions. So Kakubha means Disa directions, Pratisvanayata, Pratidhvani, Ati Kurvata. And the sound was also reverberating, it was coming back by hitting the mountains. So now, after hearing the sound, then everybody was very happy and they want to glorify the Lord. Nisamyate ghargharitam svakheda kshaishnu mayamaya sukarasya janastapa satya nivasinaste tribhi pavitrair munyo granam sma. So when they heard this sound, and the sound was like ghar ghar, ghar, he was not speaking any explicit words, he was only making, you have heard the sound, how this snort, from the snout, so that sound is ghar ghar. Ghar also means house, so he was making ghar ghar sound because he is going to bring the house for everybody. He knew Hindi. Because in Hindi, house is called ghar. So he was... yeah, he's saying ghar ghar. So these people were wondering, Manu and Satrupa, that where are we going to live? And where are we going to work? We have no house. So Lord was saying ghar ghar. Says, wait, I will bring your ghar, your house. And therefore he says, Swakheda Kshaishnu. He was removing their distress. The distress which they were feeling was removed. Maya Maya Sukarasya. He is a Sukara who is called Maya Maya. So Maya means illusion and Maya Maya Sukara. So he is an illusory Sukara or boar or hog. This means that he is not really a hog, he is the Supreme Lord, but by his Maya he is appearing like that. So he should not be mistaken like that. Or Maya Maya can also mean Maya, everybody knows, and Amaya means disease. Maya, Amaya, Sukar. Maya is whose disease, because everybody is under the control of Maya here, and that Maya belongs to him. So he is called Maya Maya Sukar. Or Maya means his internal potency. Means it is by his internal potency that he has taken this form. So he should not be considered or compared to any material boar, hog or pig or whatever. He is transcendental. That is the meaning of Maya Maya. Maya, the word Maya also means grace or mercy. Maya, Kripa is one meaning of Maya. Maya also means knowledge. So Maya Maya also means that one who is gracious. Because he is out of his grace, he has appeared to uplift the earth. And he is taking a suitable form for work. Lord, he is expert. In case of human beings, they change their dress according to the work they want to do. If you go to office, then you put on your official dress with tie, suit, everything. When you come home, then you remove that, you put on your lungi and you relax. If you have to go for jogging, then you are in your jogging suit. But what Lord does is that whenever whatever work he does, he does not change dress. He has a form like that. So therefore he has many forms. People think there are many gods. He is only one, but instead of changing dress, therefore Krishna doesn't change dress. We always say he is Pitambar. He is always having yellow dress. When he changes dress, he is somebody else. When he puts on blue dress, then he is Balram. So Balram is always blue dress. So he has to lift earth from the water of Garbhodak. Garbha means womb, not very clean. So he takes the form of a boar. I'm going to bring this out. So that is a suitable form. He became Kurma when he has to hold this Mandar mountain, because you need a hard back for that. So accordingly, Narsingadev, he took another form, because that is the only way he could kill Hiranyakashipu. So he takes a form, that's why it is called Maya Maya. That to perform his activities by his grace, he has appeared as a boar, so he is worshipable. Therefore, Janas Tapas Satyanivasinaste Tribhi Pavitrai Muniyo Agranamsme. Then the residents of Janaloka, Tapaloka and Satyaloka, because they are all looking down from the higher planets and they did not see the earth, because the earth has fallen down. So what they did, that Tribhi Pavitrai Muniyo Agranamsme, they started glorifying, praising the Lord by the mantras of the three Vedas. Rig, Yaju and Sam, they are called three, Vedatraya or Tribhi Pavitrai. Because Lord, he is personification of the Vedas and they are going to glorify him by the Vedic sound. So that was another way of telling to him that he is personification of the Vedas. So Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti says that Mayamayasya Kripamayasya Jnanamayasya iti va Mayaya Avidyaya api Amayo Rogo Yasmat yasya iti va. So he is giving different meaning of this Maya, because Maya can also means knowledge, it can also means grace, and of course Maya means avidya, ignorance. So all the meaning can be applied to this. घर घरितम जाति अनुकरण ध्वनि स्वेशाम तदनिश्चयन पृथिव्या अनु अवलंबेन वा या खेद क्षयिष्णु नाशकम. Why did he make घर घर sound? Says he made sound which was suitable to his class. As other pigs make घर घर sound, he made also. There was no need for him to make this sound. He could speak. Later on he will speak also like human beings. But now he was just making the sound as the other of same class did. And therefore he was removing the distress of his own devotees who were wondering how the earth will be uplifted. So Lord, he works to please his devotees. Just as devotees, they are working to give pleasure to the Lord. Then Lord also works to please his devotees. And this is the nature of love. And there is a loving relationship. Then what do the lovers do? They try to please each other. Not that they try to exploit each other. That is not love. So that is the heart of love, is to give satisfaction, pleasure, happiness to the object of love. So just as devotees love the Lord, Lord also acts as devotees of his devotees. So Bhagavan is called Bhakt Bhaktiman. Bhagavan. That he is a bhakta, or he has bhakti for his own bhaktas. It is not that he is always sitting and taking service. He likes to do service. This is the greatness of God. Therefore he is driving the chariot of Arjuna. So who else will do it? And he is doing it happily. So he takes pleasure, because this is the pleasure in love. The pleasure in love is doing service. Mother loves the baby. She feels happy by doing service. And without any expectation. There is no why. That why she is doing this. As soon as why comes, then love is finished. Then it becomes business. That you do this much for me, I will do this much for you. And we balance things. So in love, there is no business. There is not even a thought of it. So that's why it is called causeless. Ahituki. Or anyabhilasita sunya. Having no other motive. Absolutely. And that gives the greatest pleasure. Usually we feel pleasure when we get some benefit from our action. You do something and you derive the result of that. And we are happy. But here, the action itself is the result. There is no need of anything after that. You are getting the result while acting itself. Therefore Krishna says, Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Because he is laying the ground for love. Why he is saying it? People don't understand that how can you work without result. He is saying that you have the right to act but not in the fruit. Because he wants to teach to humanity the lesson of love. Because he is Prema Avatar. So we are very much accustomed that I do some action, then I get the result. I do the action, I get the result. And without result, I don't act. Prayojanam vina mandopi na pravartate. Without some result, some purpose, even less intelligent person does not act. What to speak of highly intelligent people. But the sign of greatest intelligence is when you work without motive. That's what Krishna is teaching. And he himself is like this. Krishna says that I have nothing to attain. Navaptam avaptavyam. Kinchan. Trishu lokesvapi. He says in the three worlds there is nothing I have to attain. But yet I am working. Vartayevacha karmani. I am always working. Why? Because by working he is deriving pleasure. So imagine like you enjoy playing. Of course, if you have time and you don't get tired, then you don't want to stop. You want to go on playing. And that's why Krishna's activities are called Leela. Play. It is a play. And play means, what is the difference between work and play? In work, there is a benefit which comes after doing the work. In the play, the benefit is there when you are playing. Not that you will win the tournament, then you will get some prize. That is not play. And it again becomes work. So play means that when you are doing it, then itself you are happy. So that is the meaning of Leela. So Krishna's activities, he is not doing that, he is going to derive something afterwards. So he wants us to become like that. And he shows by his own example that how he has come. Brahma was only contemplating how am I going to lift this earth from there. So Lord immediately manifested. Brahma did not even really pray, he was only thinking that Yasyam Hridayadasam Sai. So he said, the Lord who has created me, may he do something. So when he was thinking like this, then immediately Lord appeared without delay. Why? Because Brahma is a great devotee of the Lord. He wanted to act for his pleasure. So the Lord is coming. So they started glorifying him. So Nasakam te brahmadayo agrinan astuvan tatha te prasiddha janadivasino bhragvadayo munistribhi pavitrai rigyaju sam mantrair astuvaniti. So they were reciting prayers. This is a custom in Vedic culture. When some great person comes, then you say some pleasing words to him, and especially for the devas, because devas tutya vardhante, that you praise them, then they become ready to act. Of course, in case of Lord, it is not necessary, but just like it comes from their heart naturally. If you love somebody, you like to praise that person, whatever he does. Even if he does little work, then to you it appears great. If he does little favor, then you feel highly indebted to that. So devotees, the sages, they are all thinking like this and they pray to him. So these are the residents of Jan Satya Tapaloka, and they are praying. Tesam satam veda vitana murti brahma vadharyatma gunanuvadam vinadya bhuyo vibudodayaya gajendra lilo jalama vivesha. So when they were praying to him, then Lord, who is Veda Vitana Murti, who is the personification of the Vedas, he heard it. And Lord, he accepted this, that this prayer is actually the meaning of the Vedas, and he was very happy. Veda Vitana Murti Brahma Avdharya. Knowing this as Veda, Brahma here means Veda, then Guna Atma Gunanuvadam, his own praise, then Vinadya. So he greeted them that very nicely you have recited these prayers, and again he made a sound for the benefit of the sages. Bhuyo vibudho dayaya Gajendra lilo jalam avivesa. And then he entered into the water like an elephant. So elephant very much likes to take bath in a river. If you have ever seen elephant taking bath in the river, then he is very happy throwing water on his body with his trunk. It's like you take shower, and like taking shower, so elephant has a natural shower. You can pull water and then shower it. So that is his pastime, and if there are many elephants together, then they also throw water at each other. So this is called Gajendra Leela. So he is Varaha Dev, but he is doing the Leela of Gajendra. And then he entered into the water because he has to search the earth. So the commentary on this is Veda Vitana Rupa Sarva Vedamayi Natu Prakriti Murti Yasasa. So Lord's form is not material, but it is personification of the Vedas. As we have been reading that there is Sabd Brahma and then there is Parabrahma. There is sound form of the Lord and then there is his transcendental form. So the Vedas, this is also form of the Lord, and therefore his form is not material. Vedanam Bhagavan Nishwas Rupatvat Bhagavan Nishwasasya Leelaya Brahmanasa Pravishtasya Sukar Rupatvam Gaya. Vedas are considered as the breath of the Lord. Nishvasitoyam Veda. It is said in the Upanishad that the Vedas came out as the breath from the Lord's mouth. And Vedas are the breath, and Lord's form is the Veda. So therefore what happened that the breath of the Lord entered into Brahma's nostril, and that breath is the Veda, and that Veda takes the form of the Lord and comes out as bowl. So it went inside, like you breathe in air, then you breathe out air only. In case of Brahma, he breathed in air, and this air was the air of the Vedas, because Vedas are in the form of breath air. But when it came out, it did not come out as air, it came out as Lord Varaha. So the Sabda Brahma became Parabrahma. That is the meaning. That he inhaled Sabda Brahma and he exhaled Parabrahma. That is the meaning why it came out through the nostril. To show this point, that how Shabda Brahma is Parabrahma, or Shabda Brahma manifests as Parabrahma. So Brahmanasa Pravishtasya Sukar Rupatvam Gayam Atastesa Muninam Atma Gunanuvadam Tan Muni Kartrikam Atma Gunanukathanam Eva Brahma Vedam Avdhari Gyata. And now the sages, they are reciting the Vedas in praise of the Lord. So Lord, who is personification of the Vedas, the same thing which entered, he came out as personified. And now he is hearing the sound recited by the sages. So he is accepting this, that yes, what you are saying is right. And therefore he was very happy. And in that happy mood, he got plunged into the water. Because he has to search the earth. It was not floating on top. He has to find it. So he dived inside. Ukshipta bala khachara kathora sata vidhamvan kararona shattak khuratabhra sitadashta iksha jyotir balhase bhagavan mahindra. So when he jumped in, it is described how he appeared. So he says that he was raising his tail. We have seen cows and bulls raise their tail. I have not seen a boar raising the tail. How it looks. Because dog's tail is always raised.
It's short, I think.
Yeah, it's very short, so I don't know how it can
It's
raise
curled,
that.
isn't it?
No,
No, only if it's a pig. No, boar.
The
Boar
boar.
has a long tail, straight tail.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So you're expert on the boars. So he says that
It's a different breed. Like
his tail was up and he jumped into the sky. Khachara, means sky, and Kathora Sata Vidhunvan, and he was shaking because he has hair. That's what is called nape, the hair on the neck, and he was shaking them as if trying to break the clouds. And he had very hard hair on the body. The boar hair are very hard,
Of course.
for they make brush
Mm-hmm.
from that. Yeah.
I consider the best.
And he had white, what do you call it,
Tusk.
tusks, and his eyes were glowing,
Yeah, like that.
very powerful. And he was breaking the clouds with his hoof. So at that time he was very beautiful. He's showing that when he jumped and he was dispersing the clouds with his hoof, and his tail was up, means he was all charged up, fired up for the job. And he had this big hair throwing the clouds around. This is how he appeared at that time. So jalam pravishtas tasya dhyanamaha. When he was about to enter into the water, then this meditation is given on Varade. Uchchahi kshipto bala puchcham yena. So his tail was raised. Khachara iti brahma lokad akas margena trilokyam avatatara. So Brahma was in Brahmaloka, which is the highest planet. And from there he has to go down to the Garbhoda portion, which is just at the bottom of the universe. So he jumped from there. Now when he jumped, was he having gravitational attraction or how did he jump? If you jump from a building, then you go down because there is a gravitational pull, right? When he jumped from the Brahmaloka, why did he go down? There was nothing pulling him down. He should be pulled back.
But he was very heavy.
Like when you jump from the earth, you are pulled back. So he jumped from the Brahmaloka, he should be pulled back to Brahmaloka. Why? How is that he jumped? Because we are thinking he is up in the eye and he is just going to fall down. But things don't fall down like that. Every planet has its own gravitational field and it's going to attract. So what is the scientific explanation that he jumped and he's going down?
Maybe because the weight was enough.
Yeah, more weight, more you go back. Like
uh,
if you put a heavy thing up in the air, it comes down. So if he jumped from Brahmaloka, he will go back to Brahmaloka by the gravity of Brahmaloka.
yeah, but if
That's also there is different planets, Bhuvasva or Janata.
Yeah, but their gravitational is not working there. It's like on Earth, you don't have the gravity of sun. Otherwise you'll be pulled into the sun and burn in ashes in half a second.
the Lord doesn't have to obey to this law.
Why? If he is in this world, he has to obey the law.
Yeah?
Anyone who is in this world, he has to obey the law. Where the law will go? Law is not discriminating. The law of gravitation does not have eyes to see this is Lord Varahadev, I should not act on this.
Okay.
It will act on anything which has weight.
So then
Unless you say that he did not have weight.
So he doesn't have any weight.
No, he had a weight, but you see, he raised his tail.
Except the Lord erased.
And what he did.
So raising tail means that he used so much power that he got out of the gravitational pull of the planet. It's like a rocket. When you throw a rocket has to get out of the gravitational field of Earth. So it has so much power in it that it goes up. So this raising the tail means that he is getting out from the gravitational field of the Brahmaloka. Coming down, right? Otherwise, how do you explain? So this much power he applied that he will not come back. He will get out of the gravitational field of Brahmaloka. Then only, because once you get out of the gravitational field, then it is easy. Because there is nothing else bothering him. Of course, on the way, again he has to see that there is Janloka and this Tapaloka. They will also try to pull him. So he has to stay away from that and go. And once you gain that speed, then you don't need much power, then you just keep on moving. Because there is hardly any friction.
But then he has a tremendous power when he lands in the water.
Yes. So that's why he was also moving his feet. So he says you can meditate like this. Jalam pravistas tasya dhyanama. This is a meditation. Uchchai kshipto bala puchcham yena se, whose tail was up. Khacharaiti brahmalokan akash marge naive trilokyam avatatara. From the path of the sky only, he came from Brahmaloka to the Triloka. See, there are 7 planetary systems. This is called Triloki, Bhur, Bhuvasva. And then above is Maharloka, Janloka, Taploka and Satyaloka. So that is a different field. And this is different. So he is coming from that area to the Triloki. That's how he is descending. Hariroma yukta tvagyasya. And he has a skin which has very hard, harsh hair on it. Ikshayeva jyotisi chandra surya vyo yasya. And his looks were very brilliant. His 2 eyes were like sun and moon. Mahidra prithivya uddharta parvatulya. So he was like a big mountain. The word Mahidra can mean 2. It can mean one who will uplift the earth. Mahidra is also the word for mountain. Because mountains, they hold the earth in its place. If mountains are removed from the earth, then earth will lose balance. So that's why they are called Mahidra. So now he is searching. He says, Granena prithivya padavim vijingran kroda pradesha swayam advaranga karal dranshtopi karal dribhyam Udviksha Vipran Granito Shatkam. So he was smelling the earth with his nose or snout. And Krodapadesa Swam Advaranga. Because he was acting like a boar, although he is Advaranga. He is the personification of sacrifices, because his bodily parts are parts of the sacrifice. And Karala Drashtopi or Karala Drigha. Although he has very terrible tusk, but his looks were very compassionate. And he was seeing the Brahmanas while being praised by them, and in that manner he entered the water. So according to Sankhya philosophy, there are 5 material elements: earth, water, fire, air and ether. And every element has one specific quality. Like the quality of sky or ether is sound. So ether is known by sound. In the same way, the quality of earth is fragrance. Although earth has all 5 qualities in it, but its specific quality is fragrance. Fragrance is found only in earth, not in anything else. Even when you see fragrance in the air, means that there are earthly particles carried by the air, because air otherwise has no fragrance in it. So, because earth is recognized by fragrance, therefore he was smelling, because only by smell you will know the earth. By eyes you can see water also, but by smelling you cannot get to water. Smell will come only from the earth. So he was making sure that he gets the earth. Therefore it is said, Granena Prithivya Padmim Vijigram, that with his snout he was smelling the earth and Krodapdesa. That's why he has the form of the boar. Because boar, if you have seen, they very much like to dig into the earth with their snout and lie down there. They take great pleasure lying in the mud. They are very earthly and they like smearing themselves and smelling. So the snout is actually very hard. You can dig a hole into this earth mind. Tasya Leela Maha, his pastime is explained here. Granena Advaranga Swam Vedeva. So he is Veda himself, and Veda describes the sacrifices. So therefore his bodily limbs signify the different parts of the sacrifice. Later on it will be described. Krodapadesa Varachadma, because he is boar, therefore he is behaving like that. Stanapadesam phalam phal yugmam eva dhatte mridu kanchan valliriva itivad pad unnuti alankarene krodattvaseva vastvatvam pratyayate. Now he is giving explanation from the Kavya point of view, Sahitya, which we were talking yesterday. In Sahitya there is a description of alankaras. Alankara means ornament. So in poetry, in Sanskrit poetry, there are certain ways how to ornament the poetry. And those ways are called alankaras. And one of the many of them, there are hundreds of alankaras. So one of the alankar is called Apahnuti Alankar, which literally means the hiding. Apahnuti means to hide. In Alankar it's ornament. Ornament of hiding, which means you hide the real thing and show something else. You want to talk about one thing, you talk about another thing. For example, he is given one example. He says, Tanapadesham falayugmameva dhatte mridur kanchan valliruga. Of course, there is a lot of Sringar ras in poetry because most alankaras are used in Sringar ras. There are 5 main rasas. And Sringar ras is the ras which deals with the affairs between male and female. So the poet is describing a woman, but he is describing a creeper. His intention is to describe a woman, but instead of describing the woman, he describes the woman as if she is a creeper. So he says that this was just like a very soft golden creeper, Hemlata, with 2 fruits hanging on it. That's what says Falayam. So this is called hiding Alankar, because instead of saying that a woman has 2 breasts, beautiful breasts, and she is golden in color and very soft in limbs, he's saying that this is just like a creeper, golden creeper, with the 2 fruits hanging on it. So, trying to explain one thing by explaining another thing. This is called Apunuti. So here he says that he is saying that he is Advaranga and Krodapadesha. That he is on the pretext of boar, he is the personification of sacrifice. So he says that here his real form is boar, and this sacrifice thing is just a way to explain him. Just as the real form is a woman, and creeper is being used to explain him. Because there also he says that Stanapadesham fal yugmameva. He is actually saying that this woman is like a creeper, and she does not have 2 breasts, but she has 2 fruits, as a creeper having fruit. So here describing a creeper, but actually intention to describe a woman. In the same way, intention to describe boar while saying he is a sacrifice personified. So this is called Apnuti Alankar. Prakritam ya nisiddhya anyat sthapyate satu apnuti iti lakshana. What is called an Apnuti Alankar, he gives a definition also, probably from, I have not checked, but maybe this is from that book I was speaking yesterday, Sahitya Darpan, that where you deny the topic which is under discussion and speak of something else, that is called Apnuti Alankar. So he had quoted that verse about the woman. That means the description must have been about a woman. So that is the original topic. Hiding that, then you talk about a creeper. So this is happening. Here also description is of the boar incarnation. And then you start talking about Advaranga. So that means you are hiding one, Kroda Apadesam. Apadesam means as if you are trying to hide boar form and saying this is Advaranga. So this is called Apnuti Alankar, and we will stop here.
So on one side it says that the Lord's form is not material. It says he was in the purport. and yet then there is that meditation that he has to charge himself to get through the gravitation.
That is Leela.
So you use a material concept. You impose a material concept for the sake of Leela, or how is this to be taken?
Oh, that's why I said that, as when he was saying that he made this gar sound. So why he made gar sound? Because he is in the form of a boar. Otherwise he can remain in the form of a boar and talk like a man. Right? Could have done that. But then why not just become a man?
Exactly.
So because he is in that particular form, and he is also behaving like that.
So there are physics, material physics employed for the sake of Leela?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
There's no problem.
No, I'm just trying to clarify this. It seems to be a contradiction. If he is not material, why does he need to?
And when Krishna is walking on the ground, and if he jumps up, he also comes down. And you say, well, why is he coming down? He is not a material person.
Okay. I have another question. In the beginning of the class, you were speaking about.
And of course, when I'm saying he's charging up like this is not explained, that just I'm saying it. So, don't take my words so seriously. I'm just making a pura paksha
Okay.
and giving an answer.
So, earlier in the beginning of the class, you were mentioning the concept of Leela, that the pleasure is in the actual activity and not to be had afterwards.
Yes.
So is that like
This is the real meaning of living in the present.
That's what I just wanted to say.
Otherwise, you cannot live in the present the way Eckhart is telling you.
So there is a truth to that, a point to that living in the present, but
Yes.
it has to be
That is
really in the bhakti world.
Yes. It's possible only in bhakti.
But then that means in real, realized bhakti or
Yes.
pure bhakti, whatever.
Of course.
Okay.
You were saying that there is a balance in the earth, right? And then this balance can be also be disturbed. Like by, so for example, somebody crash some mountain or something happen, like it can also, slip out of the balance.
Yeah, actually, this is a scientific theory also. They say that it is possible because they have found what called carcass or bones of elephants in the North Pole.
Oh, yeah.
Carcasses.
Now, this is impossible, that elephant dying in North Pole, because elephant cannot reach there. Elephant is herbivorous, eats grass, and there is no grass growing there. So how did elephant arrive in the first place? So they have a theory that earth has a crust around it, and it's just like a ring. And when everything is in balance, it is like this. But suppose a lot of ice melts from here, then it becomes less weight on the poles and more here, so it suddenly slips. And what was on the, what is called meridian, it goes to the pole.
Just like a skin, basically.
And that's why these elephants would have been once upon a time, and suddenly they went there and they got frozen to death. That's what it's called.
So we're talking elephants, not mammoths. Not woolly
They have,
mammoths.
whatever they have found, I heard that they found
I mean, mammoths is the
elephants there,
Elephants, yeah.
which
Yeah, they should.
which is impossible to survive for any elephant on the poles.
Yeah, yeah.
And other things you can believe that they can eat this, they can eat that, but elephants are not meat eaters.
And they also say they found on the exactly on the Alps, they found conchs and fossils of fish
Fossils, yeah.
in the rock. So you can see the bone of this fish in the side of the box.
Yeah. That's where the ark was.
There's also something very curious.
I have one more thing to clarify, that in the commentary to verse 25 it says that they were, Brahma and his associates, they were praising the Lord, and also the sages, like from different Janaloka, Tapaloka. So now that seems to not go in contradict that statement that idea that we had, that Brahma was having the 10 sages, and then there was Manu and this Satyarupa, and then the Kumaras, and that was it. But now here we
Well, this
suddenly-
Bhrigu, etc., they don't live in Brahmaloka. They are the residents of Janloka. Different sages live at different. Kumaras, I think they live in Tapaloka. So it says that they are residents of that place, but they are present at that time, I think, with Brahma. And you are from Germany, you are in Vrindavan, then I say, well, Germans and Italians and all, they were glorifying the Lord here in Krishna Balaram temple. So now it doesn't mean that you are in Germany now. You are a German, but at present you are here. You are still a German resident. It does not mean that they were residing in Janloka at that time.
No, I was just under the impression that this is the beginning of creation,
Yeah.
and all that has been manifested so far was just Brahma and his 10.
No. It is not beginning of the beginning of creation.
It is the beginning of a kalpa, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the whole description is of Svetvarha Kalpa.
Okay.
So these upper planetary systems were already existing.
About this sound, this roaring or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
this sound that Vara was roaring or whatever, sound,
Snorting.
snorting, yeah.
Actually, it's probably because pigs can make noise with they have tongues, they can make noise from their throat too.
So,
If this was more, it was probably more like a roar, like you described it.
he was just giving like a sign or something like
Yes.
a signal, something that now is going to happen.
He was just responding to their prayers.
So,
One more for I think in physics.
Same thing.
So usually when a planet falls from its orbit, it starts burning, catches fire and starts burning from the friction. So if the Earth has fallen into the Garba Ocean, which must be very way down, why did it not,
Disintegrate.
yeah, like a meteor or something?
Well, maybe there was no atmosphere at that time, so there was no friction. I don't know. It's possible.
Didn't we say earlier that the Earth was
Oh,
still?
yeah.
All these gases did not exist. And just like this rocket is traveling, I don't know, it doesn't catch fire.
Well, but they are built in such a way that they are resistant. Like the kitchen pots we have, or some of the kitchen pots that are now in use, are coming from the space technology.
That's all this
It is-
Or maybe even if it caught fire, it didn't burn completely, it fell into the water afterwards. Got extinguished. different possibilities.
You imagine something coming down very slowly, like a snow float.
It's just interesting to, not just on that principle that physics employed in Leela or vice versa.
It also depends at what speed it fell. Maybe there was not such a great
Maybe
pull for it to
Babajis
go.
went, "Whap!" You know?
The sound has to have, because otherwise how she can sink.
Well, maybe it fell along with the whole environment around it, so then there is no question of fire.
With its own gravitation, it fell into the.
And also with its own atmosphere around it. And there will be no fire.
Wow, that makes it. But it makes it again very interesting how Varaha picked it up. And he has to pick it up with the whole layers around it.
He's the wind.
That's his job.
It also would be interesting to discuss it from the astronomical and astronomical
And the
point of view.
physics.
Yes, it's, how it influenced the other constellations.
Yeah, but I don't know what all was there.